In the know, non-stop Vikings talk. It's Purple Daily on Score North and ScoreNorth.com.
This guy doesn't just like football, he loves football.
I did watch him. I was standing right behind him when he was warming up and saw him kind of reach for his groin and, hold it and whatever you do with the groin, rub it. That's what I think I witnessed. It twinged a little bit on him.
Football, yeah! Football! Gotta eat! Brad, I remember being at that press conference. He was talking about Jeff Dugan, wasn't he?
I don't even remember. It's just so wildly uncomfortable. It's hilarious.
I saw it twinge.
Whatever you do with the groin.
Nobody ever found the deepest part of their baritone.
Yep.
Like Brad Childress.
And embraced it.
Yeah.
Well, and yeah, the extended that at the microphone was probably my favorite. It was just like he was about to start. It's like he's a car and it's 25 degrees below zero in January and he's trying to get started.
Yeah. Brad Childress, the most underrated head coach in the history of Vikings football. A man who oversaw the ascendance to an NFC championship game and then was unceremoniously dumped for poor communication and other things. So, we're going to do this on Fridays now. We're going to, at least throughout the offseason here when it's kind of a more dead period in the news cycle, we're just going to go live with our Feedback Friday around 10 a.m. Central Time on the Purple Daily YouTube channel. Obviously, you can still consume this episode on demand on the YouTube channel or on the podcast feeds, but we figure let's make it a real Feedback Friday. We'll take your comments, questions, concerns, critiques from throughout the week, mostly through the Score North app, where you can always, the best place to hit us up is the Score North app through the feedback tab. And we can even pop people's comments and whatnot, criticisms up on the screen too here. But the show is presented by our friends at TCL, one of the world's best-selling consumer electronics brands. They have a new lineup of award-winning TVs delivering the most entertainment with stunning resolution, all at an affordable cost. Enjoy more of the things you love with TCL, an official partner of the NFL. Stu's D chimes in via the YouTube comment section. Jesus, y'all went live and I thought someone died. We do generally only go live for big news and post game. Yeah. So yeah, we're just going to be live so here's what we're going to do. We're going to go live around 10 a.m. on Fridays on the Purple Daily channel for like 30 minutes or so. And then we're going to go live on the Score North channel for Minnesota Sports with Mackey and Judd Feedback Friday around 11 a.m. Central Time.
Stussy,
so mark your calendars.
Why did you assume the absolute worst? Like fired or traded? Like there's a lot of things where we'd be like, whoa, we got to go live. Why did you assume it was?
I thought you'd be proud of him. You're kind of a morbid guy. I think you'd be proud of his, I'm a little shocked you're kind of criticizing it.
I guess I'm just curious because yes, it ordinarily takes big news to trigger us going live, but it doesn't have to be a death. But you're right. You know what? I am so proud. Stoozy's mind went to the absolute worst place.
Gets99 GG says, love to watch you guys from Portugal. Yes, Purple Daily.
What time is it in Portugal,
worldwide.
I wonder?
Evening? Let's Google right now.
God.
What time
totally
is
guessing.
it?
I don't know my time
What's
zone.
your guess? Take a guess. All right, I'll guess.
Okay, it's
probably
10:15 Central right now, so I'm going to go with
7 in the morning. 6 in the morning?
p.m. I'm going to go p.m.
Okay, wait. Hold on a second here. Yeah, because I don't know which way the time zone would go. Okay, I'm going to go 8 o'clock. 8:15. I'm sorry, at night.
You're right. It's 4 p.m. Yes.
It's only 4 p.m.
I got my AMs and PMs a little mixed up there.
Getsy 99. You know what this means for Getsy? It's about time for a beer.
Yes. All right, let's see here. Matt from St. Paul via the Score North app says, where do you guys predict Kirk will rank among NFC quarterbacks this coming season? So I take his question to mean as the season, let's say like midway through the season, where do you think Kirk will rank among NFC quarterbacks?
Boy, I think it'll be pretty high. So off the top of my head, immediately I think Jalen Hurts is above Kirk. on that list in the rest of that division, maybe Dak, but like he and Dak to me are very, very close. Like it's never like there's this, oh man, Dak has now progressed and he is 1 or 2 and Kirk is 4. Matthew Stafford is a definite wait and see now because of health, which was a very different conversation a year ago. Here's one that's weird. Dare I say whoever plays quarterback for San Francisco might just be good because their system is so ingrained. But I'm thinking Kirk is, no joking right now, I'm thinking Kirk very likely top 3.
It's hard. Well, he has to be top 3 in the NFC, right? Jalen Hurts to me, now that system is incredible, but Jalen Hurts is number 1.
Justin Fields could emerge more. Like we don't know.
But not yet, right? You can barely trust him to throw 10 passes in a game.
I'm throwing it out there if we're talking about November
or
late October. I'm just throwing it out there. No, I'm not. I'm in a great, it's a Friday, Dawn's birthday. I'm in a great mood.
Yeah, what'd you get Dawn for her birthday, by the way? Did you you remembered it? That's good.
I remembered it. I actually went and went to a pie shop, and in very Mackie and Judd pie chart of blame, I received a pie chart of praise. Strawberry rhubarb pie with ice cream. And I bought the whole pie.
That is Mount Rushmore of pies.
$36, but I bought the whole pie.
Wait, it's $36 for a strawberry rhubarb pie right now?
Well, I went to a specialty shop, a pie shop, and I walked in and I said, "Do you have rhubarb pie?" And she's like, "Yes, strawberry rhubarb." And I said, "You know what? Give me the whole thing. Not cheap, but it's worth it. It's really good."
Totally.
I tried a
highly
piece, so I'm not
underrated
gonna.
pie. Yeah.
It was very good.
Yes.
So she's very happy.
Yeah, highly underrated pie.
Thought that counts.
Yeah, I mean, Vikings fans are going to fight. So Jalen Hurts, Vikings fans are going to fight any of these other guys, right? But objectively, Dak Prescott's in the mix for number 2.
Absolutely.
Matthew Stafford, when healthy, is absolutely in the mix for number 2.
Geno?
Last year's version of Geno Smith is in the mix for number 2. Again, Vikings fans are going to fight that. The best possible version of Derek Carr would be in the mix for number 2, but we haven't seen that recently. So you can't just put him in there. So, yeah, well, even like the best version of Jared Goff is in the mix for number 2. There's a bunch of guys, but I think I'm going to say number 2.
Okay.
He's the second. If everyone's kind of at their level the last couple of years, Kirk Cousins right now is the second best quarterback, right there with Dak Prescott in the National Football Conference.
Yeah, it's kind of funny that
different story.
That Derek Carr is now in the NFC because I was referred to Derek Carr as AFC Kirk. You know, like they're both just kind of in the same bin. You know, Carr's got, I think, a little bit more leadership qualities. And I know there was some Vikings blogospheres that clowned me for loving Derek Carr going into 2021 when the Vikings were wrapping up their regular season. But they're the same guy. They're very similar. I would probably have him as number 2 as well. I think Jalen Hurts is by far number 1. And then after that, there's a whole bin of, grab blindfold and which one do you pull out? And they're all going to be kind of the same guy.
I'm putting him 3. Here's a question. Does Kyler Murray, once he can play again, does he bounce back strong? Because, I mean, with that contract, if he doesn't, it is a complete mess. It's a gone show.
Again, if everyone's playing at their best, Kyler's better than Kirk.
Yes.
To me, because you get the mobility and you get the throwing. But, I mean, the guy plays video games instead of studying film. And he gets hurt, and he's not ready for week 1, right? What week did he get hurt? Like middle of the season?
Yeah, I think so.
So we'll see.
Yeah.
Okay. James Rydell says, given how much positive press KJ Osborne was getting before the draft, I wonder if some players are a little upset that he won't get his shot at the number 2 receiver slot with the Jordan Addison pick. Thielen came out after, obviously, he was traded, or not traded, but released. Right. O'Neal and others have mentioned how KJ can be the number 2 since Addison was drafted. My speculation is that Justin Jefferson skipped the voluntary workout to avoid being questioned about it.
Oh, reckless speculation.
KJ Osborne has to be his guy, but he can't trash the draft pick to the press either. I love the reckless speculation here. There is 0 chance Justin Jefferson skipped voluntary workout because he's mad about the Jordan Addison pick.
Absolutely. And KJ, look, if KJ was truly a 2, okay, like if he was going to emerge as Thielen's replacement now, guess what? He would have started to do it a lot last year. Like this team put him 3rd. If you don't think that this team right now, with its current coaching staff, constructed it the way that it is, understands offense, then I have one question. What are we doing here? So, like, it's one thing for a bunch of defensive guys to look at KJ and be like, yeah. And guess what? In KJ's first year, there probably was a slight miscalculation made when they basically said, we're drafting him because he can return, which he really was not great at. But that being said, this staff got a look at KJ all last spring and summer in training camp and definitively said, you know what? He is a 3. He's a good 3. He plays a ton. And keep in mind, with the multiple options that this offense presents, it doesn't mean that KJ is being slighted. He's still going to play a ton. He's going to catch passes. But I continue to say this until Kevin O'Connell does things where you're like, okay, he's not the evaluator that we thought. I'm going to defer to him on offensive things because he's here because of that.
In the band, KJ is playing rhythm guitar. Okay, he's not the lead guitar. He's not getting the solo acts. He's not the one that gets all the glory. But yeah, he plays some rhythm guitar in the background.
He sings some high harmonies. Well, but not for the whole song. He'll just chime in.
Right.
So we're not allowing him to sing his own songs. Okay.
No.
Just nice little harmonies on the chorus when it's time, and he's not going to get guitar solo, but he's an integral part.
You know
of the
what he
band.
is? Ringo, drummer, can't carry a tune.
Sure.
But he can really keep it.
Why? And I have sensed this from some people even before the draft. You don't need to draft a receiver. You have KJ Osborne. Okay, like what? Why? Don't make us trash KJ Osborne. KJ Osborne's a really good number 3 wide receiver.
Yeah.
If you fight for anything more than that, it's like an arbitration hearing in baseball or something, right? Where you have to trash your own players. He's a good number 3 wide receiver. They did the right thing by finding a potential number 2 or a 1B to Justin Jefferson. So anyways, Tony M says, thank you to Purple Daily for all your content. Because of the draft shows, I correctly predicted the Jordan Addison pick and won drinks and pull tabs in a bet with my friend. Love listening to your programs. That's what we're here for. We're here to help you win pull tabs from your friends.
Win prizes.
Daily Vikings Entertainment. We just want you to win pull tabs and side bets with your friends. Purple Daily.
If I'm not mistaken, tracing that back to credit for a lot of that goes to Dukes, because Dukes brought up Addison initially, Declan, about a month ago or so, or a month before the draft. I feel like he's the first one who honed in on the steam strongly. So yes, congratulations. Thank you, Doogie.
Yes. Okay, let's see here. Justin R says, great job on the draft coverage, gentlemen. Thank you, Justin R. Please predict the biggest roster move you see happening between now and training camp. I predict Danielle Hunter will be traded to the Cardinals for 2024 draft picks. The Cardinals have 6 picks in the first 3 rounds of 2024, so they have a ton of draft capital.
Yeah.
Cardinals head coach Jonathan Gannon is a former Vikings assistant, and Hunter liked a tweet by Adam Schefter back in February announcing Gannon's hiring. Good sleuthing.
Reckless.
Finally, the Cardinals need massive help on the edge.
All very true. I love that's awesome.
Speculation.
Reckless speculation.
What do you think? This is very specific. What do you think is the biggest move between now and training camp for the Vikings?
Well, I think that bit of reckless speculation is awesome, because I think that there is a chance, like they might come to at some point in time an impasse, and we're all pretty sure that Danielle Hunter is not going to play on that contract opening day. So I love that one. You know what? I guess to come up with something different on a smaller scale, what I was thinking of is once we sort of see what's what, right? We get the guys on the field, start to run through some drills. Much smaller here. Jordan Hicks doesn't make the roster. They release
a surprise cut.
So a surprise cut. The linebacker room.
Ivan Pace, undrafted free agent.
Exactly. Yes, you're singing my song right there. That's exactly right. And look, Hicks is the type of guy that you just sort of cut. You're just sort of like, hey, dude, we thought it would work, but so not nearly as beefy and juicy as the Danielle reckless speculation. I was just gonna say, I think once they see what's what, perhaps Jordan Hicks out the door as training camp's about to start.
Wow.
Or before.
All right, what is your prediction, Declan? The biggest move between now and, he said training camp, let's say now in week 1.
So I've been trying to speak this one to existence because I think it's worth adding to. I think they're going to add some type of offensive lineman here. Like there's going to be how about this? I'll quantify it as this way. On week 1, there will be a starting offensive lineman who's currently not on the Vikings roster.
Wow.
Whether that's at one of the guard spots or what, there
It would
is
have
going
to be a guard spot, right? Because it's not.
Yeah, it would
be
have to be a
Bradbury.
guard. Not
Well, I
Bradbury,
mean,
and it's not the tackles.
Well, I guess if O'Neal has like a setback in Achilles, I know he claims he's tracking, but that's an Achilles, and that's a big man. Like that can have easily a setback. I think there's going to be some type of offensive lineman currently not on the roster who will be part of the starting 5 by week 1. That is my hottest take.
Isn't it amazing? So guard is the most susceptible that we're still sitting here all these years later. I remember when they signed our guy Booney 7 years ago, back in like 2016, and he was like the next in a revolving door of guards. We've been doing the guard thing, the revolving door guard thing for a decade. We're still sitting here doing it. They have 2 second-round picks playing guard right now, and we're like, Ezra Cleveland's fine sometimes. Ingram's a disaster. What are they going to do this year? I do like the idea of just let Ed Ingram, he's a second-round pick, played big-time, SEC college football, just see if he can just get better in a second. We did have some questions, too, about, Booney kept offering, hey, I can fix Ed Ingram. I can fix Ed Ingram. And people have asked, has Ed Ingram taken Boone up on that offer? I can tell you, no, he has not. I don't know if it's like an offer that Boone has officially made other than just mentioning on the podcast, but I don't know if Ed Ingram is seeking out training outside of the Vikings, but
That's what I was going to say. I don't think the Vikings would be super high on that. That's my guess.
Well, but you can work out with, like,
sure you can, but if he starts to like give you tips and then your position coaches too, I think that's where you get to be at a little bit of a crossroads.
Well, there was a video of Jamar Chase and Bijan Robinson working out with like a footwork specialty coach on social media this week. That's not like a Bengals coach.
I'm just throwing it out there. Potential controversy.
Go get better. Go get better. If the Vikings aren't making you better, go get better somewhere else.
So Phil,
Ed,
what's your bold move, surprise move?
I think they're going to trade. Zadarius Smith. I think they're going to re-sign Daniil Hunter to like a 2 or 3 year lucrative contract, and then maybe they trade him after 1 more year. I don't know that they strip away. They've already stripped away key veterans. I think if you're Brian Flores, that's one you're going to pound on the table and fight for. Wouldn't shock me if they traded Daniil Hunter, but I think they're going to find a way to trade Zadarius Smith for like a future 4th round pick that could conditionally be a 3rd, and they'll send him to some desperate team like the Jaguars that needs an edge, someone like that.
Sure.
Let's see here, live on the Purple Daily YouTube channel on this Feedback Friday. Jack Wiles says, Surly before I die in Chicago. I'm a diehard Vikings fan and a Gopher alum. Moved to Chicago a couple years ago. A couple of roommates, all 3 big Minnesota sports fans. I've never seen Before I Die anywhere outside the Twin Cities, but a new bar opened this weekend next to our apartment in Lincoln Park, and they had Before I Die on tap in Chicago.
Dude.
Blew my mind. If there are any Score North or Purple Daily fans in the area, come to Willie Lil's on, is it Diversey in Lincoln Park?
Diversey, yeah, that's a great area.
Okay.
I love it.
Have not been able to find a Vikings Gophers Minnesota bar anywhere here. Would love to see people out on Sundays. Love your show. I mean, this has to be the new Minnesota sports bar if they're carrying Before I Die taps.
Yeah.
Or cans. I don't know what they're carrying, but I love the show. Keep up the great work, guys. Jack Wiles.
Nice plug there.
Awesome, dude. Let's see here. Tony JJ Verichek chimes in here via letter.
Oh, nice.
Man after my own heart right there, you guys.
Via letter.
Man.
So if you remember,
my
JJ
own
sent us
letter.
some cool patches a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
He has impeccable handwriting here. I'm going to read you some of this.
Okay, then he's not me.
Dear Phil, Declan, Judd, you guys are awesome at what you do. Thank you. It's an awesome day to listen to the same takes as my little group talks about every day. With that said, my group would like to mail you guys 3 honorary Couch Scout member patches. And I have them right here. This is amazing. We are honorary, thanks to our friend JJ here, Couch Scouts. Look at this.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, that's snazzy. I like. Yeah, that's a good look.
Put this on a hat.
Yeah.
Let's make this happen.
Very nice.
Also, he sent over some Bud Grant memorial patches here. Dude, I think he
Very
makes these, man. These are sweet.
Mm-hmm. That's
R.I.P.
very
to a
nice.
legend in Bud Grant. We listened to your show, just love it, and I'm not going to read the whole thing here, but it's a pretty cool gesture. Yeah,
Thank you.
Those are amazing listeners, man. Custom patches and whatnot. You guys are awesome. So thank you, Mr. Verichek. We appreciate you. Mike Schilling chimes in, says, so we gave out options for, all right, now that the Vikings have kind of gotten through the draft, here are their options for finding a future quarterback. One of them being Jaron Hall has an awesome development year. Kirk Cousins could be resigned, right? And Mike Schilling says, I like option 3 of your options, which is buying low on a current quarterback like a Trey Lance. Trey Lance will still be an interesting one to buy low on, but I have another name I don't think has been brought up. What about Tyler Huntley from the Baltimore Ravens? He's been a pretty proven backup with some decent upside potential for the right price. He's only 25 years old, really good mobility, which is one of the most important traits needed with this offensive line.
Yep.
He did make the Pro Bowl, quote unquote. A lot of guys make the Pro Bowl, so that may up his asking price, but he'd be a decent shot to buy low on. Plus, they just signed Lamar Jackson. Now, Lamar Jackson does get hurt, so the Ravens might not just give away Tyler Huntley. But what do you think about, there's a bin of those guys like Trey Lance, guys that are either formerly high draft picks that maybe their stock has fallen or their backups or whatever it may be. Does Tyler Huntley do anything for you?
Consider me intrigued. I'm not sure, but it is the type of probably QB with his ability to move that KOC definitely wants to trend towards.
Mm-hmm.
I like it, but I think what you said is the problem. If you're Baltimore, I think you need a guy that can replace Lamar if and when, and it's ordinarily if it feels like of late he gets hurt, right? Because you don't want to have just to use a name, your Joe Flacco's of the world as his backup, right? And now it's like he drops back to pass, he can't move. So intriguing idea. Hadn't thought of that one for a while as far as the potential, but I wouldn't mind it if O'Connell feels that is his type of guy. I think what you see from Huntley's ability, though, definitely would be up the alley of where the Vikings are going to go next post Kirk.
I believe we had this conversation 2 years ago when the Vikings were in Baltimore and they lost to the Ravens, or around that time, I guess. So sometimes the 2021 season, and in the playoff game this last year against Cincinnati, I mean, Baltimore was right on that door. I mean, they fumbled that ball at the goal line. Cincinnati takes it back 100 yards and then kind of seals it for them. But Baltimore was right in that game, and they almost won it with Tyler Huntley, for God's sake. So yeah, I would imagine he's probably going to want out. He's probably going to get a new suitor next year. Baltimore just isn't going to give him away for peanuts. But yeah, I'm intrigued. I think he'd be very intriguing to go after.
I think he's a good backup. Undrafted, comes in, similar style to Lamar Jackson, right? Mobility first and maybe throwing the ball second. So what scares me a little is he's now thrown 305 passes in the NFL, and his average yards per attempt is 5.5, which is, I think, the lowest of any quarterback that's thrown that many passes. It's just a lot of short stuff. It's a lot of running and short passes. So as a backup, awesome. A guy that comes in for 5 games and you're not going to train wreck, I'm in. I'm not going to trade a second-round pick for Tyler Huntley. Okay, Bob Geller. You'll remember Bob after I read some of this.
Okay.
Bob says, just a few suggestions for the show.
Oh, boy.
Number 1. I recall you guys saying sometime recently that someone requested you quit with the I wanna mock sound effects.
Yes.
Bob, that was you. That was you. We were reading your note. You were the one that wanted us to quit with the I wanna mock sound effect. Your claim of taking a poll on it was clearly BS, but at least you could have turned the volume down so it wasn't so effing loud. Serious food for thought. Whoever had a problem with that sound effect wasn't wrong. Well, that was you. It was you that had a problem with the sound effect. So, Bob, we hear you. Bob, we hear you, but the audience does seem to love largely the I want to mock sound effect. We already did 2 weeks ago.
Pull the comments again, though. The live show right now. Let's pull them. Do you people love mocking as much as we do, and therefore that song?
Number 2, please tell Judd that being the loudest guy in the room doesn't make someone right. It does get old after a while, Judd. And his sponsored tweets, seriously,
Bob, what are you talking
these
about?
sponsored tweets have forever changed him from the sports dad to the sports hoe. How embarrassing for Judd. No shame. What does he get? A few dollars a tweet? He's generally a bright guy, but regardless, what an incredibly sad state sports reporting has become.
What am I don't get more for my tweets. I just like to praise our sponsors because they keep us going.
For Declan, word is getting around. Bob's on one right now.
Yeah, Bob's pissed.
Word is getting around. He also rips you for endorsing Manscaped, even though you don't actually have a beard and it takes you 5 weeks to grow one. But we've already covered that on the
That's
show.
okay. Yeah.
There's other places you can use Manscaped, by the way.
Below the belt.
Word is getting around on other sites how bad your clickbait headlines are becoming on Purple Daily, particularly before and after the draft. It's embarrassing for you and a disservice to your viewers. I realize it can be hard to come up with something each day, but please, your listeners are ideally somewhat intelligent and have limited patience when there are other options out there.
He's lashing out right now. Bob is like lashing out, taking us all down with him.
Bob,
It's Friday, Bob. Let's all enjoy life.
and finally,
Relax.
Finally, for old Macadac, Bob says, "Thanks, Phil. Your intelligent takes and humility are appreciated." Bob loves me.
You're the guy that plays
Bob loves me.
I want to
and
mock
I love,
on a
I
loop.
love Bob. You guys need to maybe look in the
you
mirror here,
hypocrite.
okay, and take some of this.
Hey, Bob,
constructive
listen, I'm going to talk
criticism
really
to
loud
heart.
right now and tell you right now, buddy, he's the one that plays I want to mock on a loop.
I don't know what's. You guys have a problem with Bob's emails. I think Bob should keep them coming, Bob. All right.
like to mock him.
Anytime you want to send a note into the show, I am on Team Bob.
You got ripped too. He just didn't know that you're the one. I bet Bob blames Dex.
Declan's the executive producer. All right. He oversees all
He's
of the
got
production
one
elements of
with
the
the
show.
I want to mock thing
Yeah,
at home.
a lot of,
you play that sounder when the show's not on, just for your wife.
Sometimes
and
I
dog.
do. I'll just come into my home studio,
Hey,
on
honey?
a random weekend and just fire the I want to mock throughout the entire house.
Yeah.
Let's see here.
You must be a
This
treat
next
to live with.
This next comment is presented by our friends at Livia, helping
Mm-hmm.
Purple Daily listeners lose weight by the dozens.
And they do a fantastic job, as I've been talking about for a while now. They helped me drop 40 pounds more than a year ago now. And most importantly, they're going to help you keep the weight off. And that's the most important thing. Join today and receive 3 months free, plus a free gift during their Client Appreciation Week. 855-GO-LIVEA. LIVEA, Livia.com. Their annual spring client appreciation event runs May 6th through the 12th. Special savings, giveaways, and more. And again, the headline is, if you want to lose weight for summer, 3 months for free. Livia, LIVEA.com. Join the growing amount of people who watch this show who have tried it and had success. You can be next. Livia.com.
The growing amount of people who are shrinking, thanks to Livia.
You are that's
right.
a dream type of
Right.
slogan.
Graduated from the University of Minnesota 2007. Copywriting
Yeah,
and
except
advertising.
Microphone
Microphone etiquette was not one of the classes. Graham Power chimes in. That's a great name. Graham Power. Got a power take here from Graham. I was thinking about how Brian Flores will develop all these young defensive backs now. Then it hit me like an Anderson Dejo targeting shot. These guys will have to practice and battle the best wide receiver in the NFL and another wide receiver that's slotted as the best route runner in his class. Add a superstar tight end that causes problems, and our linebackers will get a look at some of the best players every day. If these young guns are able to learn and cover and keep up with some of these great players, it'll be a vast improvement from last year. Thanks for all you guys do at Score, getting me through all my workday doldrums before I die. I mean, it is an interesting, like practicing against some of the best receivers, but one of the better tight end pass catchers on a daily basis cannot hurt in your development as a young defensive back or linebacker.
Absolutely helps. Absolutely. Positivity. Unlike Bob. Positivity right there.
All right, Daniel Brandt says, this is great. How many years do you give Kevin O'Connell before you start to put him on the hot seat? I love it. Let's put him up. Put his ass on the hot. 13 wins in his first season. Put his ass on the hot seat. With the schedule looking difficult, it's possible we go 500. Do you think the reason they won't extend Kirk is because they don't want to be tied to him in fear of losing their jobs? Well, I do think they don't want. I've said this when they were hired, that they're, even though they extended him right out of the gate. I don't think they want like, okay, we're going to attach ourselves to Kirk Cousins. They want to go year to year with Kirk Cousins and see what happens, right?
Mm-hmm.
But what would it take for you to put KOC on the hot seat in 2023?
Well, nothing in 23, but I mean, if they move on from Kirk and there is a couple year period and it's very clear that they don't answer the question, Kwesi and KOC, it's hot seat time. No question about it. Like the quarterback revolves around everything.
I love these guys came out, won 13 games. We're like, when are they going to be on? When are their asses going to be on the line?
What? Their job, the only people that really cared about taking the Zim Spielman team and being successful, like really cared about that, was the Wilfs, to prove a point, I think. But no, we're talking about if Kwesi and Kevin find the quarterback, find the first franchise quarterback in this godforsaken franchise's history since 1978, then guess what? Heroes. But if we go through a few years and it's like, okay, bridge guy, draft guy, he's not developing, the seat gets hot. Sure as the seat I am sitting on right now because of all my hot takes gets hot. Yeah.
Well, winning games, regardless of whether you whiff on a quarterback in the first round or fifth round or whatever, is gonna be the most important thing. I mean, look at the 49ers. No one's talking about John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan should be on the hot seat because they whiffed on Trey Lance. Mm-hmm. And they bailed on Jim. They were the ones that they bailed on Jimmy Garoppolo. Yeah. It was their guy, right?
Yes.
Because they built a great roster and they have a great scheme. So you can do other things to prolong your stay as a GM and a coach.
I'm just saying if it doesn't work and we start to get into a couple years in, it's like, this is not what's going on here. I'm just saying the seat gets hot.
Oh man, just fire their asses. All right. Reed Willardson says, I may have just discovered something mind-boggling for you guys to share on the show before it's all too late. So our aging running back, Dalvin Cook, and his brother, James Cook, who plays for the Bills, had some goofy parents. Believe it or not, Dalvin's full name, and I did confirm this on Wikipedia. You guys know this, what I'm about to say? Dalvin's full name is Dalvin James Cook.
Okay.
James' full name is James Dalvin Cook.
Oh, wow.
This is so crazy to me. I just had to share. Thanks and Skol.
I had no idea, and that's a great little factoid.
Isn't that weird?
Well, probably, yeah. But I mean, I don't know. Like,
what's your sister's
name? It sounds
name?
Weird. Mine? Serena.
Judd Serena. So if it was like Judd Serena Zolgad and then Serena Judd Zolgad, it'd be a little weird.
It would be. It'd be very weird.
I was almost a junior. I was almost Steve Jr. But my mother grew up with a junior in her household, and she said she didn't want to do that again, which I completely respect. Another one for me was Seamus, but I think I've told this story before.
You do look a little like
you look like a Seamus. There's no question.
So Seamus, it was literally between Declan or Seamus. I think I might have told this story on the pod before. Maybe I haven't. But when I entered this world, my mom looked down and said, "That's a Declan. That's not a Seamus."
I don't know, man.
I disagree with mom a little bit.
I think you might be
look like a
Seamus, man. It explains everything.
You're sort of pale at times. I can see Seamus.
I mean, Declan, Seamus. I mean, you can't go wrong with either Irish name.
Yeah, they're both very Irish.
They're 1 and 2, 2 and 1, 1A, 1B. But Seamus was high up there. It was Seamus or Declan.
I think I could see either one of these for you. I mean, obviously we can see Declan at this point, but Seamus is
Because I was going to be Jude, but then because of the Beatles song, the rug got pulled on that one, so I became Judd.
Okay.
Which I actually like more.
Then they were going to name you Yellow Submarine, but then the Beatles came out with that song too, and I was like, what are you doing here?
Exactly right. Anyway.
Nano Joe says Declan looks like a Bob.
Actually, my middle name's Robert. Dead serious.
Oh, wow.
I'm dead serious.
I've never thought that you look like a Bob.
Nano Joe is correct then. He actually is a Bob.
Yeah.
Seamus could have been Seamus Bob. Seamus Robert.
Bob. Yeah. Seamus Bob.
Let's see. Your bad dad joke has an actual football question. Went down a fun rabbit hole this draft cycle. Thought I would share. Dan Campbell has a verified RAS score, relative athletic score, of 10 out of 10. I'm going to trust these numbers that he looked up. Dan Campbell 15 years ago in the draft. The guy had a perfect relative athletic score.
Okay.
Kevin O'Connell had one back in 2008 of 9.6 out of 10.
Could see that.
I don't have any info on the Fleur or Eberflus, but is it possible we have the most athletic coaches of any NFL division? Would you put Dan Campbell and Kevin O'Connell up in like a physical, either a fight or a physical competition with anyone in the NFL, any division?
Campbell for sure. And I think KOC has reach. He is a tall man.
Oh, yeah. He's like 6'5".
He's lanky as hell. Yeah, he is
6'4",
really
6'5".
lanky.
Yeah, my fiance loves him.
Well, I mean, he's an attractive dude. I mean, there's no question about it. I'm
Sean
trying to think of the rest of the
Sean
division.
McVay looks like he's in good shape, but he's too small, man. Like, there's no way
And
you
Shanahan?
wouldn't put him in an octagon with either one of those two guys, Campbell or
And Kyle
KOC.
Shanahan.
He's kind of scraggly.
Okay, how about this though between the two? What about a decathlon between Kevin O'Connell and Dan Campbell? So
O'Connell gets the endurance events, Campbell gets the shot put.
Yeah. So there's the 100-meter, the long jump, the shot put, the high jump, discus throw, javelins in there. That could be a fun event. That could be a fun event between the two.
Maybe Judd can be the javelin catcher. Just stand down there.
Oh no! Are you no? I'm not participating in any of this. I'm staying on my couch.
By the way, we do have an open merchandise store. People asking, hey, is there anywhere I can get those Before I Die hooded sweatshirts, T-shirts, Purple Daily, and Score North themed swag? Yes, scorenorth.com/shop. That's scorenorth.com/shop, where you can get your official Wave the Flag themed Judd Zulgad hoodies and T-shirts. Just one Before I Die. We have a couple different designs on that. Your Victory Monday, this is my personal favorite during the season, the Victory Monday hoodies and shirts, also hats and beanies available over at scorenorth.com/shop. So yeah, thanks for hanging out with us here. Our first ever live Feedback Friday. No, there's no breaking news.
Should we do it?
I mean, it's the first live Feedback Friday.
I know, that's what I'm saying.
Almost
It
have to
is,
wave the
ladies and
flag.
gentlemen. You wanted it. You called for it. It's happening.
That's right. Voluntary workouts. Get the flag. Rookie mini camp coming up. Get
Next
the flag.
Friday, baby. We got a rookie mini camp next Friday.
Dude, next week, sneaky big week in the NFL. We've got the schedule release on Thursday, and then we've got the rookie mini camps on Friday. So all sorts of fun.
So what day?
times.
What day do we want my 2023 mock Viking schedule?
I think
Monday or Tuesday.
Tuesday.
Okay, that's
Tuesday.
I'm ready.
Right? Give it 48 hours to breathe. We'll pick your mock schedule on Tuesday. And we'll pick the actual schedule probably Friday, I guess, after the Thursday one comes out.
Well, are we not going to go live on Thursday night?
We could. Yeah,
Well, we will.
I mean, I think we got to go live.
We will.
Let's do it. Okay.
Yeah, we will.
Let's do it live.
It's a big
Do
day.
it
We'll
live.
do it live.
Bill O'Reilly would say.
We'll do it live. And then he just throws his pen. It's my favorite.
All right, thanks for hanging out with us on this live Feedback Friday. Daily Vikings entertainment here on Purple Daily. We just want the Vikings to win a Super Bowl before we die.